Oh, you got to see this. Looks like Jason is sitting. Oh, it's just wasting. Wow. Hi, guys.
The county roads and stuff on them. So what I use is their street.
Vicky,
Not
Vicky, are you gonna be doing the invocation?
It's the place on fire. Brad, Mayor John.
Yes, you'll do it, Vicky?
Is someone else volunteering? I normally do it.
Yes, nobody else is volunteering. That's what the mayor wants to confirm, that you're gonna be doing the invocation.
I always have.
Okay, yes, okay, thank you.
Hello, Roxanne. How are you?
Is that you, Gary, playing the drums?
That's me playing the drums, yes.
Ready, guys? I call to order the regular meeting of the City of Aransas Pass City Council, February 1st, 2021 at 6 p.m. Let's all rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Thank you, Father, for this day that you have given us, my Father. The ending of the first month of the new year. I pray, my Father, that you be with us as a city council, our staff, and that we make the right decisions for our residents, my Father, understanding that we are still not out of the waters as far as Hurricane Harvey, but my Father, we are just about there. Guide us, my Father, to make it to the end, and also the new business, the new residents, that you guide us as a council, the mayor, and the city staff to make the right decisions. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Of the United States with which and indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, now we're gonna go into executive session, section 551.074, to deliberate on employment, evaluation, reassignment duties, discipline or dismissal of a public officer or employee. Is the city manager employment agreement, for Gary Edwards. So,
A little bit. Time out. We want the new city manager to be involved in the meeting. It's not you, it's you.
I don't think you heard that.
30 seconds. Let's just leave it up there.
Okay, we're gonna reconvene in open session to consider and take action, if any, on any item discussed in executive session. And is to consider an act to approve a city manager employment agreement between the city and Gary Edwards to begin on February 1st, 2021.
I make a motion to approve the city manager employment agreement between the city and Gary Edwards to begin on February 1st, 2021. Any second?
Do I hear a second?
Oh, they're not, okay.
Go ahead and make that again.
I make a motion to approve a city manager employment agreement between the city and Gary Edwards to begin on February 1st, 2021.
I'll second.
Mary, you wanna go to?
For passage of the motion, Councilmember Abrego.
Aye.
Councilmember Knight,
No.
Councilmember Knight.
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Moore,
Mayor Pro Tem
Aye.
Moore.
Councilmember Scruggs.
And Councilmember Scruggs.
Aye.
The motion passes.
Now we're gonna go to presentation. Okay, now we're gonna go to presentations and proclamations.
Update by Russell.
Update by Russell, Soki, AG, CM Project Manager regarding Con Brown Harbor Road Project.
She's gonna go get the video. She get the video back. Or I started. I'll give you an update on the Con Brown.
Give you an update on the Con Brown Harbor project. I think the last month I was here, we were working on the roundabout, and we had traffic on both
Allen
Boulevard along with Bigelow. And from now on, we've got 90% of the roundabout complete, and traffic's been put on the roundabout and on Allen Boulevard.
All the lighting is up.
All the lighting is up. We're waiting on just getting the power on
So we
it.
should probably have the
So
power
we should
turned
probably
on
have the power turned on in the roundabout and all of Allen Boulevard, probably in about 2
maybe
weeks.
sooner, but I'm gonna
Maybe sooner, but I'm gonna say, just to be safe side, 2 weeks, we'll have the power turned on.
And we started.
And we've started phase 3, doing construction out
We've
there.
got now.
We've got now excavation and embankment about 90% done. And they'll be starting doing subgrade this week.
Had some extra work added to the
Had some extra work added to the
That was,
project.
the apron.
That was the apron, concrete apron that's to be installed in front of the boat
And
launch.
they are now halfway.
And
done
they are
that.
now halfway done with
I would
that.
say by.
I would say by Thursday is the plan. We should have the rest of the apron put in, and we'll have it back in full service probably Monday.
That's about where we're at.
That's
The contractor's
about where we're
been,
at.
Right now, he's right on schedule. He's at 50%. And I just got his estimate in, so I don't know what that is, but it was already 47, so they probably got more of the items done. They're probably around 55%, I would think. And everything's going pretty smooth.
Where did the bike trail end up at the bottom road?
I beg your pardon?
The bike trail,
Oh, the bike trail?
did it end up on the east side of the road or did it stay on the same side of the road?
It's gonna be on between the water side and the road, on the hike and bike path.
So
So it'll be on the right hand side if you're coming
if
in.
you're driving around like that, it stayed on the right hand side,
Yes,
right by all the parking lot and all those stuff.
yes, that's correct.
Really?
Well, and
I thought it was gonna get changed over to the other side.
I can check the plans. I'll double check on that, but from what I'm seeing, it's in between.
Would it be pretty dangerous for it to be on the side where all the traffic is going in and out of the businesses up there?
Okay, if you're looking here, this is the Allen Boulevard. You got your hike and bike path on the right hand side.
Yes, but I'm talking about the bottom road.
And then on Bigelow Street, it's gonna be on the water side, in between the water and the road.
Yes, I see the one that's already done, but I'm talking about the one you just started on. What's the name of the street?
Bigelow Street. So you're gonna have the illumination is in that green belt area over Bigelow Street. And then on the other
But you see
side,
where that truck is coming? Where's the
yes,
bike truck gonna be on the passenger side or the driver's
it'll be on
side?
the passenger side.
Really?
something that wasn't agreed on earlier or
Now
something
it
like
was
that.
supposed to be moved to the other side.
Okay, we'll have to look at, I'll get with Fernando on that.
Yes,
And,
it was supposed to be moved to the other side.
It's-
That way it'd be away from all the businesses and all the houses and everything that's gonna be
Okay.
developed on the harbor side.
I will get started on it, see where we're at on it, and maybe the ball got dropped or, I
Yeah,
don't know, I
that
don't
was
know
a
who
discussion.
decided that.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
Okay. Definitely I'll look into that and, I'll get back with Fernando immediately.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to put it on that side when there is no businesses on the other side, on the hillside, to where nobody's gonna be backing up into you or anything like that, or driving up and waiting
Yeah.
for cars to be moved and whatnot.
Could be, or it could be because it's so steep up in there, it might be a drainage issue with,
So either way,
the
you
landslide.
still have the same distance between this here and here, whether it's on the right side or the left side, it makes no difference.
That's true.
Okay, it's the same way.
Okay. I'll check on that. I don't know how they designed it, so right now it looks like the ball.
Yeah,
already got
it was
dropped.
supposed to be changed.
Okay, well, I don't think it has been changed then. So I will get with Fernando and Denbaum, the ones that are on the designers, and we'll return your question on it, see what we're at.
Yeah, because come on,
Understand? All right, thank
you're
you.
trying to make a change to it or what?
I have a question.
Okay,
I had some people ask me how the boats and trailers and bigger trucks, delivery trucks are handling the roundabout.
Dan Bob just had a conversation with him this morning, and Dan Bob is, their biggest issue is the roundabout, making sure that, tankers and that kind of stuff can get through. I had a conversation with Chuck, he was at that meeting also with the harbor master, and we have, witnessed some big boats coming in, 47-foot coming in, and they've had no problems coming on the turnaround. And along with fuel trucks that come in, I've witnessed them also. So I think everything's gonna be fine as far as bringing in big boats.
Okay, that's good. I wanted to hear that. I haven't had any complaints from any of the guides or fishermen that I know, so that's good.
It's a big concern when I see something that's that big coming through.
Right.
Yeah. And so,
Okay.
yeah, they had no problems coming through. Like I said, there was a 3-wheel trailer coming through, 47-foot boat.
Yeah,
But
that's
I'll tell
awesome.
you,
He just showed me a picture of it.
This is a test.
That's
Can it make it through? And they had no problems going through there. And Dan Palm, the designers, they reassured us that it does meet, bringing in some big semis.
Well, I've had nothing but praise for the city it looks wonderful. It's a great asset to the city. So
Yes, it
thank
is
y'all
good.
for y'all's work on it. It's good.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. It's gonna be beautiful. And I'll get you back on that.
Yeah,
All right.
it makes no sense put it on that side, when it's the same width left or right, it really don't matter.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up because we're right now.
Right now, you still
on
enough time, you gotta move it to one side or the other, and it makes no difference.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
What about the drainage lines running across Bigelow Street?
The drainage, well, on the design, they built that road up. So the drainage is fine, about half of Bigelow.
Well, I'm talking, there's pipes running up underneath it. I think
Yes.
has anyone actually seen the drainage pipes?
Yes, yes, there's 2 inlets on both sides and a couple various locations.
Okay.
And in the plans is to abandon the inlets. And it didn't address capping them, but we're looking into that right now. It's gonna be capped that, make sure that any kind of storm surge or anything like that comes up through the existing pipes that's in the grassy area will not go up underneath the road.
And what about the pipes themselves? I don't know, is that corrugated pipe, like as far as the pipes, will they be filled in or are they just gonna be left there?
They're gonna be abandoned. All it calls for is to remove the inlets.
Okay.
I looked at the storm sewer system, they're concrete pipes.
Concrete?
Yeah. Yeah, because that's a big concern, because I noticed the green belt
Yeah,
that
it falls in.
they had that tin in there and it's fading now.
that was discussed also.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You bet.
Hey, those grant pipes are plugged up. They won't let them run through it. They might see through it, but they're not gonna run through it.
Yeah, that's great, good for you.
Yeah, they're pretty well plugged up.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
but if
John.
they seep through there, there's gonna be a hole.
Yeah.
Well, main thing, we want that road to last.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you for your time, appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, now we're gonna go to update on Harbor Master Building with Edit B.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Craig Forsyth. I'm the Director of Architecture for LNB. I've got a little handout here if I could. I apologize to those on. Thanks. We have been in constant communication with the contractor. In fact, I brought the gentleman who was in back here. Ken is with us now to oversee construction, so he's been out there on a weekly basis. We're keeping kind of some tight reins on this one. You may have heard, kind of through the grapevine, we had a slow start to this project. We had some issues with the metal building company and some of the members they sent to us, and some were just delayed. The contractors kept very good records of those items. Currently, they're about 40 days behind because of the metal building company itself, just mismanufacturing or sending improper items or just delaying. They're blaming all this on COVID. We really don't have any other avenue but to side with the contractor. But he has come a long way since that. We've been able to rectify a lot of these situations. In fact, I think all of them have been rectified to this day. We've also had some issues at one point. Again, a lot of this was the metal building contractor. We had some wrong anchor bolts setting. So I know Fernando was very concerned about that, as well as Chuck, but we managed to get that rectified. Luckily, it was just surface rust. So some of those larger ones, we had to go back with a wire brush and then cold galvanized paint those. So those have all been coated now. There were some other bolts rusted in the main girts. We had to replace all of those with a zinc bolt. So all that's looking a lot better. He's underway. Framing has started, as you can kind of see in these photos here. They're making a lot of headway. Things are really moving along. We estimate that he's probably somewhere between 55 and 60% complete at this current time. There's going to be a lot that still needs to be done in the interior. Things are back on track. He's given us an estimated schedule of completion now. The original completion date was to be March 9th. If we estimate those additional 40 days because of the delays posed by the metal building manufacturer, that would take us to April 18th. The contractor is telling us that he can finish this thing by the end of March. So it's a pretty aggressive schedule, but we're going to continue to work with him and see if he can make that happen. There's been several rain days in there. Currently, he does not ask for any of those rain days, rain and mud days, but we're going to continue to see how things go. He still feels confident that he can finish it within that time frame, that March. So again, things are looking really good. We've got Ken out there. We've got bi-weekly meetings. We encourage any of you to attend. It's open to the city. That's what it's for. We want to make sure that we keep you informed of the progress and what's going on. So be happy to answer any questions.
We're going to have any rusted bolts before the end of the contract.
We have stressed to that contractor that you don't hand over a new building with rusted bolts. So we will continue to look that over. And if there's anything else that needs to be done, whether we coat those again with that cold galvanized paint or have him swap those out completely, we will make sure that that's done. One thing that you will see in those photos, I think it's that third page where it shows some of the interior. There's a lot of that insulation that is coming off the walls. He's cleaning that up as it kind of blows out of the building. He's cleaning that site, doing the best he can to keep that up. That again was something else from the metal building manufacturer. They did not supply the vinyl coating paper that's supposed to go over that insulation. And something we were talking about a little bit earlier, in that those main open bays where we're going to be parking the boats, they'll put that vinyl in when that is received. And then they'll come back with plywood on the inside of that, so that should help strengthen that area.
That insulation right there, is that foam or is it battered insulation?
It's bad insulation.
It's battered?
Yes, sir.
Really?
It's bad.
Why not foam?
Well, the
It's
bad
been helpful in keeping the structure together afterwards when the winter storm. It would have been really nice to have some foam in there. And,
I completely agree.
It helps a lot better.
I do. The foam is great. Part of the battle.
Why did we not choose foam instead of that battered insulation?
Well, this is kind of a FEMA issue, because we had to go back with similar materials to what was in that original building that blew away.
It would have been nice for us to feel the difference.
But we could
There's a
certainly.
lot of difference between the windstorm, how it keeps it together.
Is it something that can be readdressed, or is it too late for that?
It'd be difficult at this point to change that out. It's somewhat costly. Yeah, and the building itself is, as far as I completely understand.
Yeah,
about the
it's just
foam
an extra
insulation.
help, it's right there at the water.
Well, I'm a big fan of foam insulation,
Yes.
but
Me too.
the building has been fully engineered so that it will meet all your windstorm requirements. So in this particular instance, other than maybe some additional moisture protection and some of those issues, I think the bats are probably going to be adequate for the situation. Okay. Any other questions?
I think Roxanne had a question. More. Roxanne had a question.
Roxanne has a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Any more questions?
I'm able to hear Craig in the distance. I heard two things that raised a red flag for me. So Craig, if you can hear me. One of the things I heard you say is that you were 40 days behind schedule due to the metal building manufacturer. Does that mean you're going to be 40 days past project due date?
Well, what we're getting from the contractor is that they're not going to be a full 40 days. If we did accept all of those, and I would highly recommend that we do, I think it's justified to the contractor. His completion date would then be April 18th. The contractor is currently telling us now that he's going to finish towards the end of March. So that would only put him roughly 2 to 3 weeks past the initial schedule.
So we are late on the project timeline.
We will be as of March 9th. It will be past due. Yes, sir.
The second thing that raised a red flag was I heard something about bolts. You said something about bolts had to be replaced or bolts were painted. What was that about?
Well, we had some surface rust develop, and as we told the contractor, that's never a good idea. I mean, it's just unsightly. We had our structural engineer also look at that. There was nothing actually structurally degraded with the bolts. They were still in good shape, but if we would have left that condition alone, then there's a chance that they could have really caused a problem in the future. So we had him address that. The metal building company actually did send a paint coating specifically for that reason. So we had him go ahead and take care of that now.
How does a brand new building have rusted bolts?
Well, these bolts, they were supposed to be galvanized originally, and they were not sent that way from the metal building company. So those are embedded in the slab. So we had to do the best we could, and that cold galvanizing paint was the best solution at that point. And again, I've checked this with our structural engineer. He feels like that's a good fix, and it should be a long-term fix. We noticed some other bolts.
Paint over galvanized steel is more appropriate or equal?
Well, it's galvanizing paint. Yeah, and part of what a lot of people don't understand is when you get galvanized bolts and you put that nut on there, a lot of times you're taking the galvanization off. So now that we've got a full connection, it's already been torqued down and they put that paint on there. This should actually be as good or better than just galvanizing from the factory.
So why were their bolts not galvanized initially put in?
Well, that's one of the problems that we had from the metal building company. They sent the wrong bolts.
But what wasn't someone managing the project to make sure that they were doing the right thing?
We were, yeah, we were. And it was one of those quick deals. They were so far behind because they were waiting on parts and pieces from the metal building company that when they came in, the contractor did it, we poured the slab. So we had no concerns over those bolts. As I said, I think we're as good or better than we would have been originally anyway. The ones that really concerned us were in the girts, and we've had him actually replace all of them.
Has the building official been out there to take a look at the building?
I believe Burl has been out there.
Is he in the audience?
No.
I'm really concerned about how some of the basics keep getting messed up on the initial projects that we rely on with your company.
Well, we feel like we've been on top of them and rectified them as quickly as we could.
Is there a project manager every day on site?
The construction group has one on site every day, yes, ma'am.
And they didn't catch that before they were installed?
They've never made any mention of that to us.
Okay. What is the windstorm rating on that building?
I think that one is 130.
Which category is that, please?
That's inland. Any other questions?
You didn't answer which category. I'm trying to look it up real quickly on my phone.
I believe it's inland 1.
I'm sorry?
Inland 1. You've got a question.
Nathan Kelly, Fire Chief. The fire marshal actually went out there the other day, and he did have a question about something he saw out there. And it may have been from this painting that you guys are doing, but they noticed that he said that at the front entrance that the actual girders were raised up.
Okay, it is category 3.
I'm not familiar with that. No. You know about that?
Did you see it, Chuck?
He's talking about the uprights for the porch. There's a gap beneath the bottom of the beam and the surface of the sidewalk right there that they have not grouted yet.
Okay.
Those areas this afternoon, the contractor was grouting from the slab up to the bottoms of those beams and enclosing it. So that was done this afternoon.
Okay. Yeah, and that's.
The fire marshal just had a question about it. He had actually gone out there and started doing some of his inspections.
Anything else? Anybody else? Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Okay, now we're going to go to the consent agenda. All of the following items in the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the city council and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of this item unless the council members so request. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the January 13th, 2021 special meeting and the January 18th, 2021 special meeting.
I'll second.
Mary?
For passage of the motion, Councilmember Abrego,
Aye.
Councilmember Knight,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Moore,
Aye.
and Councilmember Scruggs.
Aye.
Okay, now we're gonna go to the city manager, which is consider an act on resolution number 2021-962, ordering an election to be held in the city of Aransas Pass on May 1st, 2021, for the purpose of electing a mayor and city council member to place 1 and 3, authorizing a joint agreement with San Francisco County Election Administration for the conduct of the election and providing for procedures for holding such election, providing for notice of election and publication, providing for establishment of early voting, polling place, and designating election day polling place location, providing a severability clause, and providing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor and Council, Mr. Mayor, you pretty much stated the entire issue right there in that description. election May 1st. There are some unique factors associated with this particular issue. This year, we're back on schedule. Last year, we had a November election, and that presented some unique issues for us. But we're now back to the May election. And Mary, I don't know if you have any comments as far as the fact that we're back to May as opposed to the November election that was last year.
Well, the polling place rules are different for November elections. There's a section in the election code that's very specific to November elections. And what it says is that for November elections only, you have to use county precincts. But of course, that was the reason why in November, we had to set up polling places in Aransas and Nueces and San Patricia County. Now for May elections, there's a lot more flexibility. And we did, just to let you know, I did call the Texas Secretary of State to confirm that. And they agreed, that November elections are more specific than the May elections. And what's being proposed here is for Civic Center to be used as the early voting polling place as well as election day. And so that's acceptable under the law. So do you have any other questions?
Favor of the council?
Motion to approve resolution number 2021-962, ordering an election to be held in the city of Aransas Pass on May 1st.
Second.
For passage of item 8.1, Councilmember Abrego,
Aye.
Councilmember Knight,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Moore, Mayor Pro Tem Moore,
You are mute, ma'am.
Aye.
and Councilmember Scruggs.
Aye.
The item passes.
Okay, now we're gonna go to consider an act to appoint Gary Edwards, city manager, to San Patricia County Economic Development Corporation Board of Directors through December 31st, 2023.
Mr. Mayor and Council, when I was here before, you appointed me to this board for representation of the city on the Economic Development Board and Board of Directors. And this simply continues that policy of having the city manager on the EDC board. It's a very useful position for the city.
I make a motion to appoint Gary Edwards, city manager, to the San Patricio County Economic Development Corporation Board of Directors to represent the city of Aransas Pass.
I'll second.
In favor, Mary?
Okay, for passage of the motion, Councilmember Abrego,
Aye.
Councilmember Knight,
Present.
is that aye? For passage of the motion,
It'd be more like abstain from voting.
Mayor Pro Tem Moore
Aye.
and Councilmember Scruggs.
Aye.
The motion passes.
Okay, now we're gonna go to consider an act to approve first one-year option of the professional real estate broker services between the city and Mylanda Williams through February 3rd, 2022.
And that pretty much sums it up. Last year, you approved a one-year agreement with Ms. Williams with three one-year options. And that 1 year is over the initial year. But this is the first option. If you agree to move forward with the first of three options, that's what's before you right now.
I make a motion to approve first one-year option for the professional real estate broker services between city and Melinda Williams through February 3rd, 2022.
I second.
For passage of item number 8.3, Councilmember Abrego,
Aye.
Councilmember Knight,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Moore,
Aye.
and Councilmember Scruggs.
Aye.
The motion passes.
Okay, now we're gonna go to public safety, which Eric disappeared.
Mr. Mayor, I understand he left and is asking that it be delayed until the next meeting. He had to leave for personal reasons.
Delayed till next week, delayed till next week, he just said.
Okay, I can't do that. Okay, we're gonna go to city council for staff announcements.
Mary, just have them table officially to the next meeting.
A motion to table to the next meeting. On items 13.1, 2, and 3. Somebody can make a motion.
I make a motion to postpone the annual public safety report until next meeting.
I'll second.
Favor,
Do you want to include all three of them? 13.1.
Annual public safety report, postpone the use of force, annual report, and racial profiling report.
I'll second.
For passage of motions 13.1, I'm sorry, for passage of items 13.1, 13.2, and 13.3, Councilmember Abrego,
Aye.
Councilmember Knight,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Moore,
Aye.
Councilmember Scruggs,
Aye.
the motion to table passes.
okay, now we're gonna go to city council for staff announcements. Which is driving in unimproved areas, Compound Harbor, signage at Lighthouse Lakes.
Mr. Mayor and Council, these two suggestions come from Councilwoman Scruggs for a work session, and I don't know if Councilwoman Scruggs wants to elaborate on them, but we're looking at two potential dates if the council agrees for a work session. One is February 22nd. The other is March 10th. It's possible we could add to that agenda. It's not known if we will or not. But that's always a possibility. But those are the two issues as stated by you, Mr. Mayor, that would be scheduled for that work session. Carrie, I don't know if you want to elaborate on those two issues or not.
Yes, certainly. The driving in unimproved areas at Compound Harbor, it's come to our attention that vehicles are driving over the brand new curbs and hike and bike trails to get down to the water side on the Aracoastal Channel side and to go fishing, as if they've honestly always done so in the past, but of course there was no curb and hike and bike trail present. You would think as someone drove up to those that they would go, there's a new curb and a hike and bike trail. I probably should not drive over this, but they're obviously not seeing that. So when I contacted Chuck, the harbor master, and Eric, the chief of police, they both told me that we needed to have some type of an ordinance so that they can enforce this behavior. The signage at Lighthouse Lakes has been a discussion before. I truly believe that some type of signage for cautionary slowdown of traffic in the shrimp boat channel to err in caution of kayakers, swimmers, fishermen, wade fishermen is certainly something that is needed. That's all I got.
And again, the two potential dates, Mr. Mayor and Council, are February 22nd or March 10th. If you have another date, that's fine, but those are the two that are free at this particular moment.
I say let's do it as quickly as we can, especially because it's going to take a while to get the signage for the Lighthouse Lakes, and we've discussed this before. If it's okay with everybody else.
I'm fine with that.
Councilman Knight?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. Now we're gonna go to citizen comments. Citizen comments are intended for the matters that are not scheduled on the agenda. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes and state your name and address for the record. Be advised that the Texas Open Meeting Act prohibits the city council from responding and discussing your comments. The law authorizes the following: make a statement of factual information, recite existing policy,
advised that this subject will be placed on the agenda for a subsequent meeting. Any comments? Sir?
My name is Carol Salinas. I'm a resident of Aransas Pass. I have a concern I've been noticing. Not far from my house, there's a new house. This is pertaining to code enforcement, building inspection. I'm not sure, but houses are supposed to be set back a certain distance from property lines. Driveways are supposed to be a certain length, and that's been fully discussed in planning and zoning. I am on that commission. There's a new house that has gone up. I do not believe the house is anywhere close to the setback requirements. I know the driveway does not meet the length and distance requirements. And I've heard other properties going up that have been concerns about the same thing. And I just wanted, I mean, a house that's already, and the house I'm speaking of has a privacy fence in the front that has gone all the way to the edge of the road. I think this is something, if someone is beginning to slip up on some of these requirements, I think they need to be addressed and watched. Thank you.
Mayor, could you please get that address for Miss Salinas?
Yes.
The address for the violations may exist.
The house that I'm speaking of is in the block next to me. I'm in the 800 block South 11th Street. This would be 9 or 1000 block South 11th Street. And the house, I don't believe even has anyone living in it yet. It's that newly constructed, but it does not meet any of the setback requirements. I'm thinking like 1060, I'm not sure.
Thank you, Carol.
My name's Donald Brummett. I live at 902 South Wright. And Carrie, you're right. I've not only seen them drive across that bike trail, I've seen them driving down it, then pull
No.
off. And also, how many go get out and drive around and see stuff in a random bed that needs to be fixed?
I do.
I'm sorry.
Okay, the reason I say this, the fish out front are just about to rot down or corrode down.
The
They
fish?
haven't been cleaned and waxed in almost 2 years now. I've never seen anybody work on
What
them. You can
fish
tell
are you
by the
talking
bottom
about?
to what?
What fish are you talking about?
The statues out front, the sailfish.
Out in the median?
Yes, right out in front of City
Across the
Hall.
street.
They are turning white because nobody has taken care of it. All it takes is a little soft brush. Got my tongue twisted around my teeth, couldn't see what I was saying. But that and some paraffin wax, and that would take care of that bronze.
Because I do know that we have new lights. I know that we have new lights on the flags.
Well, thank you. We, yeah, well, okay.
Okay. Anybody else?
Any other comments, Mary, online?
No, there's no comments online.
Okay, then we're gonna go into executive session, section 551.087, deliberations regarding economic development, negotiations related to a coffee company. And it is 6:46.
No, up turns off, down turns on. Are we ready, Mayor?
Let's see. Okay, yes.
We're gonna reconvene in open session to consider and take action, if any, on any item discussed in executive session.
No action, Mayor.
So what's the papers first? Jan,
I make a motion that we adjourn this meeting.
I second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Good night, guys.
All
Good
right.
night.
Hey, that was quick and easy. Bye.